Good, great. So the task actually is asking us to manipulate the SQL Server, and we're going to manipulate all the, let's say, the definitions we saw in unit number 2, the theory. First of all, we're required to generate or create one database named flightsys that has this architecture, 4 entities, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then after we're going to execute those queries, we're going to interrogate the system based on those queries here. Let's dig in. So the SQL Server is our DBMS. We're going to manipulate the DBMS, which is the SQL Server Database Management Studio. Inside, we're going to create a database. So this is the main activity from that. Let me just switch my window, my presentation, to the window where the SQL Server is. Here it is. Great. Once you see the window, please tell me. Is it visible to you? I believe yes. Great.
Yes, Mr.
Yes, great. So the guide is asking us to create a database called sys. So SSMS, we started the SSMS, and here we are. We have two authentication modes. Let's use the Windows authentication mode, in order to avoid the usage of username and password without any need for now. Just connect. If you have this field empty here, empty, just from here, you browse for your server, you browse for the server installed, browse, and then after this, you browse for the server. Here it is, just select it, and just connect. You are in. You have to see something similar. I am Fulan. This is the username, because I use the Windows authentication mode, so this is my name. It would be displayed here. We are going to create a database named flightsys, as per the request. So here from the database, I'm going to right-click, new database. The database name is flightsys. Type the name, then okay. Permission denied, database master. Actually, I do not need. I'm going to restart. To avoid this issue because he's saying he's given a system error. Need a specific error, I know. Actually, I have to restart the system again. So SSMS. Yes, Windows authentication. I'm going to create a new database. I'm going to say flightsys. That's it. Database permission denied in database master. No, I don't need. What is the problem here? I'm trying to fix the issue in my computer. Yeah, see, the problem here is in my computer only, so just such error. He's saying that I cannot create a database inside the database, which is not the case. I'm not doing. Because remember, we are utilizing computers controlled by a domain, so such issue might happen from a time to another. Usually, new database. That's all I'm doing. Okay, seems to be I have to restart the full machine to be recognized for the network. I'm going to restart the machine. Give me a few seconds. Just I want to restart the full machine fully. No need. Just a refresh because it will take time. Okay, for you continue as a system authentication or Windows authentication. Sorry, for me, I'm gonna connect as SA. Okay, I'm in. I'm Murat. I'm administrator actually. I'm gonna create a database now. So the same way, right click, new database flight. This flight system. Done. Inside the database, I will find it. Here it is. Here's the database. Done. So inside the guide is asking us to create the architecture seen here, this architecture. So the 4 entities. Let me swap the view. Let me swap the view also. So the guide is asking us to generate the database that has this architecture, those entities here, 4 entities we have, pilots, flights, planes, and this is an association table, which is pilots on flights. So we're going to generate this architecture. So we're going to create those tables here, let's say. Starting with the pilots. So I'm going to create a new table that has 6 fields: ID, first name, last name, title, birth date, and pilot ID. I'm going to say new here on the tables. So on the tables, right click, new table. Yeah, the first field is an ID, which is an int. Data type is an int. Good. First name, it's a varchar 50, it's okay. Last name, also it's a varchar. What else? First name, title, birth of date, title. I'm going to say varchar also. Birth of date, POD, birth of date. I'm going to use also varchar to avoid the syntax and the respect of syntax. Pilot ID. Pilot ID. I want to say it's an int. It's an int. Okay. Let's check the system. An int. Yes, it's an int. Good. I'm going to save. I'm going to save. The name is pilots. The name of the table is pilots. Okay. That has been generated. I come back here. I refresh the table. I refresh the table high. Refresh. Here it is. Done. I close. I go and generate the second lights. So let's create the second table. So on tables also right click, new table. I'm going to say FID. It's an int. Flight ID. What else? From to departure date. From. Varchar. To. It's a varchar also. Departure date. I'm going to use varchar to avoid the syntax only. We may use actually date, but I'm going to use varchar to avoid the date. Sorry, the date syntax. What else? Planes ID. Planes ID. I'm going to use int. Wait. I'm going to save. The name here, flights. Okay. Refresh the tables. Here it is. Here they are both now. Close this thing. Close it. Good. Third entity, planes. I'm going to create planes. New table. So right click on the tables, hide, new table. PID, I'm going to use plane ID, int. What else? Model, build date. Let's say model. Varchar. Build date. I'm going to say varchar the same way to avoid any syntax errors. What else? Number of seats. Num of seats. I'm going to say int. Wait. That's all I think. Yes. That's all. Save. I'm going to say planes. Saved. Refresh here. Nothing is there. refresh the full database. No, here, refresh the table, sorry. Yes, here it is, the planes. The planes has a view. I close. The fourth table, right click. What is it first? This is association table. Pilots on flights. Pilots on flights. It has the ID of the flight and the ID of the pilot only. This is an association table that links those two entities. The ID of the flight, here it is. The ID of the pilot, here it is. Let's generate it. Fourth. Pilots on flights. Right click. New table. I'm going to say pilot ID. It's an int. Here, flight ID. Flight ID. Also, it's an int. Great. Let's save. The name is pilots on flights. I'm not using spaces at all in the names. I'm not using any space. Remember, see, I'm not using any space here. No spaces at all. Okay, done. Has been saved. I refresh. Yes, here it is. Done. Great. Now I have 4 entities. I have 4 entities in my database. I have 4 entities in my database. So actually, to generate such a view, we have to make the links, those links here. I'm going to generate those links, which are the relationship we defined today morning. We defined today morning the relational databases when we define the Ado.net, the relational databases. Actually, those links here, they are because of the relation in between the entities. There is a relationship between this entity and this entity. Here's the line. There is a relationship between this entity and this entity. So there is a line. Entity or table, we say we give the name. There is a relationship between this table and this table. This is the line. So let's design that. Let's design that. So we start by the relationship between the pilot and the pilot. Let's start building or creating this design here. To do so, on the diagrams, here nothing is there. Nothing is there. I'm going to say yes. Information. I'm going to create a new diagram. New diagram. So right click. I need all the tables. I need all of them. The full. Add. Great. Close. Close. Here they are all. Here they are all. So here, flights, and here pilots on flights. So we have the same view. We have the same, let's say, disposition. There is a first relation in between the pilots and the and the pilots on flights. One too many. One too many. See here key. Here no. Let's do that. Where it is? Yes. So I'm gonna drag and drop the pilot ID, link it to the pilot ID here. I'm going to say yes. What is this message? Let me check again. So I'm going to drag, drop primary key or unique key constraint must be defined for table pilots on flights. See the message here, what he said. There have to be primary key here in order to drag in. What to do? I'm going to say, okay, the same way actually for every and each unit, there have to be primary keys. I'm going to delete all. No, I'm not going to, I'll leave everything like it is. I'm going to leave everything like it is. I'll create primary keys in every unit. Start with the pilots. Where is the pilot? Here it is, right click, design. Primary key here. Set the primary key. So the primary key is the ID. The ID is specific. So every pilot has an ID. It cannot be repeated. So this is the primary key. Set the primary key. Star appeared. I'm going to save. Save. Close. We come back to the table C. The primary key here is the ID. The primary key in the pilots on flights, both of them. Primary key, primary key. This is a complex. This is a compound primary key. Both of them. Let's do that. In the pilots on flights. Pilots on flights. What is the primary key? Both of them. Design. This is a primary key. And also, this is a primary key. Actually, both of them. I'm going to just specify both of them. It's not replying. See, it has been stuck. Completely, it's not replying. Yes, great. So I'm selecting both of them. Set primary key. Both of them done. They are both primary keys. They are both primary keys. They are both primary keys. I save. I save. I close. Let's come back. Now we have the primary keys here and here. Still the others will generate later. I'm gonna drag this primary, no, this primary key. I'm gonna drag the primary key to the foreign key. Let's do drag, leave. Now yes, we are going to link the pilot ID. Sorry, the pilot ID in the pilot ID in the pilots on flights to the pilot ID in the pilots, not the pilot ID. The pilot ID is the one. The pilot ID. That's a problem. Pilot ID. Pilot ID. Yes, pilot ID to pilot ID. Pilot ID here, and the pilots on flights to the pilot ID and the pilots. Here it is. Just okay. Yes, okay. Let him do the job. Recurrence in field pilots do not match an existing primary key or unique constraint in pilots. The same spelling. It's the same. No, capital P, capital P, capital P here. Okay, okay. Cancel. I have to change the name. See, I have to change the name to be both of them the same spelling. Pilot capital, pilot capital. So I want to modify the pilots on flights to design. I'm going to expect the same P to be in capital. Yes, done. Save now. Close. Come back. Yes, has been changed. Now drag and drop. Yes, here it is pilots ID also. Tell OK. Pilots do not match an existing primary key or unique key constraint. Tell OK. Foreign key. To avoid the issue here, because it's not the context to build the primary key foreign key context. So just I dragged in the ID to the pilot ID. Full stop. No issues. The connection has been happened. Now we come to the relationship in between the planes and the pilots on flights. Oh, what is it? Here we have the relationship between the flights and the pilots on flights. Let's do that. The flights, yes. So I'm going to change the places. The flights. So we have to create the primary key here, which is this one, and the primary key here, which is this one. I'll start with the flights. Right click, design. FID is the primary key, set primary key. Save, close. The same thing for the planes. Here it is, here it is. Design. Right click, set primary key, save, and close. Come back here. The primary key has appeared, so I'm going to drag and drop this FID Just drag and drop. Here it is. Flights ID. Yes, flight ID. Press OK. Confirm. Done. Now I'm gonna drag and drop the PID to here, to the planes ID here. So PID to planes ID. PID to planes ID. Yes, just press OK. Confirm. That's done. Save. Here we have the star. So I'm gonna save this diagram. Diagram 1. Yes. Diagram 0. Leave it. Save it. Yes. That's it. Done. Saved. Everything has been saved. We generated our diagram now. We generated our diagram. Let's go to the next step, which is the interrogation of the database. The interrogation of the database. What does the interrogation mean? We're going to answer the queries. So for each entity, we'll actually populate. First of all, before the interrogation, those are the interrogations. We're going to populate each entity with one record. We're going to populate. Means we're going to insert data here and here and here and here also. So let's do so. Let's do so. Close this diagram because later on we may come back for an issue. Come back if we need. I'll start with the flights. Right click. Edit top 200 rows. Edit top 200 rows. Flight ID. I'm going to say 1. From. I'm going to say Muscat. 2. I'm going to say Tunis. Departure. I'm going to say today date. What is it? 18 and 2020. Plane ID, I want to say 546 and H7. Any model. Invalid value for cell row, column 5. This is the plane ID. Plane ID, we said it's number. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's enough. No rows was updated. The data row 1 not committed error source. Provide a message insert statement conflict with the foreign key FK planes because this actually it is in a relationship. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to say 1 here. Leave it empty. So leave it empty, this one. Still, it needs, because actually we have to fill up the relationship here. We have to fill up the relationship first. The relationship between the pilot and the flights. Edit. I'm going to say 1. 1. Was not committed. Commit data row. State has been terminated. Connect the errors. Retry. Press escape. See the foreign key pilots on flights. The conflict flight stable with your pilot. Column ID. The statement has been terminated. I'm going to say OK. Because it has to be actually match and value here. What I'm going to do, I told you that there will be a problem. I'm going to refresh this block. Here we have the design. This is the design. I'm coming back. Double click. And I'm going to delete those links here. Select. Right click. Delete relationship. There, yes. Select. Right click. Delete relationship. There, yes. I do not need it because it is causing me trouble. Too much of the values. For now, we do not want to waste time here. We know how to build it and leave it like it is. Close it again. Come back. Now, if I click next line, it has been saved. Goes. Now, in here, I'm going to say, I said 456 and H, whatever. Click next line. Now here, the error is saying that the error message here input string. It is a different error. It's not the same. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to change this 1 to 1, 2, 3, for example. It's enough. Okay. What was the problem now? No rows was updated. The data was not committed. Error. Provider. Insert statement conflict with the foreign key. Still, okay. Because we have another foreign key to be double click. This one. I'm going to delete, right click, delete relationship. I want to say yes and save. Now, خلاص, we do not have any relationship, so any constraint, not relationship. Yeah, I'm going to click next line. See the red dots. The red dots, they disappeared. Finish. Has been saved. I close. I come back to the flights again. Right click. Edit top 200s. We'll find the row. Yes, still saved. Muscat, Tunis, 18-1. Yes, it is very fine. That's close. Let's continue to the next DBO pilot. Edit top 200 rows. I'm going to say ID 1. First name, I'm going to say whatever. Added. Last name, I'm going to say Oman. Title, I'm going to say pilot. Birth of date, I'm going to say 10, 10, 10. Okay, pilot ID, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. Enough. Good. Saved. Click the next line. It has been saved. There is no save here. You just click next line, automatically it will be saved. Close. Next, pilots on ID. Remember here the pilots. See here. I come back. The pilot ID I given 1, 2, 3. The flights come back top 200. Flight ID or plane ID. Plane ID I given 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Whatever. I'll come back. So here, pilots on flights. I'm gonna say 1, 1. Okay. 2, 2. 3, 3, 4, 4, whatever, 4, for example. They are only examples. They are not 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. They are examples only. They are only examples because they are both of them int. So they have to give only ints. Close. Planes. At the top 200 rows. I'm going to say plane ID 1. Model, I'm going to say Airbus. Build date, I'm going to say 10. 10 means number of seats, I'm going to say 110. 110. I'm going to say 200. Number. Okay. Saved. Class saved. Closed. Done. This way, I populated data inside of those entities here. So they have data inside. It's not empty. Continue. So using the same database, our database here, answer the following queries here. The first one. Let's start with the first one here. Display the list of pilots in the system. Display the list of pilots in the system. Display means retrieval. Means we're going to extract. We're going to display. From where? From the pilots entity. From the object pilots. We're going to display all. He said all, the list, all of them from the system. So we're going to display the list of pilots. Let's do so. To do so, here I'm inside the database. I'm going to open a new query builder. From here. And the query would be the following. Select everything. From what? From the pilots table. From this table here. I'm going to write the name. From pilot, Bahar. I choose it. It appeared to me. Just double click it. Just here, select. I highlight and execute. I highlight because later on we are going to specify what to execute. So usually we select. It's been happened. Here it is. Khalid Omar. He is a pilot. The date of birth is this one. So we extracted everything. Next query. Display the list of planes in the system. The fleet we have, the list of planes we have, we display them from the system. What is the planes where they are stored? The planes they are stored in here, and the planes table in here. So select star from what? Planes. Here it is. It appeared to me. Here it is. Double click it. Yes. Now select this query and execute. Here it is. One. It's an Airbus. Build date. This is the date. All the data we have. Next. Line. Display the list of planes in the system that they have more than 100 seats. Yes, the same thing. We're going to display the planes, yes, but we're constrained that they have more than 100 seats. Let's do that. No constraints about what properties to display because we're going to display everything, all details about the plane. From planes, it appeared, here it is. But we are not going to display the planes only. We have to have the seats the number of seats, to be more than 100. He said that to be more than 100, strictly more than 100. So here, where, what is the name of the column here? Num of seats, the same spelling from here. Columns, the same spelling, the same number of num of seats, the same name here. Num of seats. Num. It appeared to me. I choose it. Here it is. Double click it. Now I select. What's the problem? No. Where num of seats is strict great 100. That's it. Now select, highlight, execute. Here it is. It appeared to me it's the same. No, it's the same like this one. Why? Because we have only one entity inside the table. If I say greater, less than, if we say less than 100, less than, we change less than 100. See, nothing would be. The output is empty. Empty, we do not have. So he said more than 100. More than 100. Yeah, one record it displayed to me. It is given the same result like this. Why? Because the table holds only one value. See here the table, right click, edit top to hundreds. We have only one line. So the harf is the same. Good. Next query. Display the flights of the plane. Display the flights of the plane 407. This model. This is the model of the plane. The flights of the plane. This is the model. I'm going to use this one as ID. I'm going to consider this one as plane ID. The plane ID is this one, 407 GX7. But the plane ID, actually, the plane ID here from planes, yes. The plane ID is an int. So you say what this question says. The flights of the plane. Let me check the syntax, not the syntax, the architecture of the flights. Design, yes. Plane ID, here it is. Plane ID. Yes. What the plane ID is. So I'm going to search from the flights only. So the query would be from the flights only. Select star from flights. It appeared jadwal. It's jadwal. This is the one. Where? Because we need to specify specifically. We need the plane to be with the ID. This one. This is the plane ID. So where the plane ID, the flights. So let me go. What is the flights? Plane files. These are the flights. Yes. Columns. Plane ID. With the plane ID. The plane's ID. Where the plane's ID. It appeared to me. Here it is. Selected. Equals. As he said, 407 GX7, I think. Same number here, yes. 407 GX7. The same number. The same mathematical number. I'm going to put it in between two single quotations. String. But remember, the plane's ID, we specify it is an int. It is an int. See here. The plane's ID, it's an int. It is an int. So this would give a 0, nothing. We cannot compare string to an int. Execute, nothing. Yes, it's an error even. We cannot convert. We cannot convert a varchar to an int. So we cannot. Thus, I'm going to commit that the plane number is the plane ID is 407 only. It's enough just to avoid this error. No point here. Select. Yes, nothing is there. We do not have a plane. If we check the table, click edit top to hundreds, we do not have a plane with a plane ID 407, but we have 123. I'm going to close this one. I'm going to change this one, for example, to 1 to 3. Let me just get it like that. So I changed this one to 407. Give me nothing. And here I'm going to change this one to 1 to 3. 1 to 3. Execute this block here. We have a result. See, 1 to 3. 1 to 3. So here 407, we don't have any plane 427. 407, we don't have. Execute, nothing. And comparing with this value here, it's a string. We cannot. It gives me an error. We cannot convert a string varchar to an int. We cannot. It gives an error. So this one is error. And this one empty. We do not have a plane with the ID 407. And here, yes, we have a result. So based on the value, what is the value? If it is correct, you get a result. Otherwise, you will not get any result. Execute. Done. Yes. Next. So display the planes model of the year. Displaying the planes model of the year means the planes that they have been manufactured, built this year, 2020. Let's go. The planes. Okay, the planes. Where is the planes table? Yes, this is the one. Right click. Edit top 200s. He said the planes ID. Not from here. I'm going to check it from here. The planes ID model. This is the model. Built this year. We're going to. What is the question? Display the planes model of the year. Means if they are manufactured this year, so we are going to display them. The planes, if they are having the build date this year, 2020. Great. So select. Yes, select. From planes, here it is. Where what? Build date. Yes, here it is. Equal 2020, this year. Select, execute. Convert value, varchar to date in type. I'm going to specify this one in between single quotations. Select, execute. Nothing. Build date. I'm going to change. See, actually, the planes on top to hundreds. We have this date. See, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. I'm going to search for this date only. So 2020, no result. I change this one to 10, 10, 10. Let's execute and see if it gives us the. Yes, we have the result. Here it is. This is it. It is done. If I select 2020, no, nothing. It is an error even. It's not. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's not an error. No there. Nothing there. Next. Display the plane. The flights for today. The planned flights for today means the flights that are going to happen today. So we are going to display them. Yeah, the flights. The flights. Where is the flights? Over there, the flights. Flights, here it is. Departure date is today. So let's select departure date, flights, departure date. Select star from flights. Yes, here it is, table. Where departure, here it is, I selected, equals is varchar, so today. 10 is the day today. 18, 10, 2020. It is 18, I said, 18. Yes, great. Let's select and let's execute. Here it is. Here it is. If I change, for example, I'm going to choose different date. Say 11, 19 tomorrow, 19 tomorrow. Okay, select, execute, nothing. We do not have any flight tomorrow. But today, yes, it is there. Next. For today, so here, insert now, insert a new flight planned for tomorrow. Insert new flight planned for tomorrow. Let's insert. So I'm going to insert the same architecture, ID from to departure date and plain ID. Departure date is tomorrow. I'm going to do insert into what? The table name. What is the table name? Plain flights. Sorry, flights. The table name is flights. What it is? Yes, flights. Here it is. Flights. Here it is. Flights is the same name. Copy. Values. Yes, values in between requests. The first is ID 2, رقم 2, because one already we have one. We insert 2 now. From, I'm going to say Dubai. It's a string. So in between single quotation. Dubai. And with the third one, 2. In single quotation also, I'm going to say Shanghai, China. Okay. Fourth column, I would say departure date tomorrow. Departure date tomorrow. I'm going to copy this date, the same date here. Copy. Paste. Fifth column and the last plain ID, I'm going to say, it's an int. I'm going to say 147. Okay, close. Select and execute. One row affected. It has been happened. What did we insert? We insert a flight for tomorrow. Earlier, when we executed this query, it given us nothing. Now let's check. We have. It's from Dubai to Shanghai. It is 19. It is for tomorrow. And let's execute this one also. Yes, it works very fine. Muscat to Tunis. Absolutely, it works very fine. Next. Cancel any flight planned for today at 10 p.m. At 10 p.m. If there is a flight at 10 p.m., we cancel it. Means we are going to delete. Let's do that. So, actually, we do not have, but let's do delete from table name, which is the flight. Flights, here it is. Where departure date, well, let's write it. Departure date, here it is. Equal, we respect the question, what the question said. It has to be 10 p.m. We write it like it is, we don't care. The question said 10 p.m. So we say 10 p.m. between single quotations. 10 p.m. Full stop. Let's execute. Execute. 0 rows affected. There is no error. No error, but nothing has been deleted. Why? Because we do not have any flight at 10, but no error. It has been executed very fine. Let's keep going on. Next. Add a new pilot profile. Add a new pilot profile. I'm going to add a new pilot profile. New pilot profile means this entity here. I'm going to add a new pilot profile. So I'm going to insert a new pilot. Insert the same spelling, the same syntax. There it is. The pilot already we have actually an interrogation. Yes, select star from pilot. If I execute it, you'll see the body. This is the body. ID, flight name, last name, first name, sorry, last name, title, birth date, pilot. Let's expect the same thing. I'm going to do a new insert here. Insert into what? Pilots. The table is pilots. I select it. Here it is. This pilots. Here it is. Double click. Values. Values what? Start with the ID. I'm going to give 2. First name, I'm going to, in between single quotations, I'm going to say Ali. Single quotation. Fasla. Third, last name, I'm going to say in between single quotation also, I'll say Mustafa. Ali, whatever. Let's say Nisbo. Any text. Okay? It goes. Fourth line, title. Also single quotations. Between single quotations, I'm going to say co-pilot. So, sorry, co-pilot. مساعد طيار. Okay? Fifth line, fifth, which is the birth of date, it's a varchar also. I'm going to expect. I'm going to say 1, then 2000. Okay, single quotation. The last, which is the pilot ID, I'm going to give different one. I'm going to say it's an int. I'm going to say 159. 159. Any. Close the parenthesis. Select. Execute. One row affected means has happened. Has happened. Now let's select again. We have 2, Khalid and Ali. This is the new one we inserted now. This is the new one we inserted now. It works very fine. Next. Add new plane to the fleet. الأسطول. Add a new plane to the fleet. Add new plane. There is no constraint. So we need to add new plane. Okay, select from airplanes here. Let's check the syntax, the architecture. PID, model, build date, number of seats. Let's insert. Insert into planes. Yes, here it is. Values. Values, yes, here. Okay, respect the PID, I'm going to give 2. The press ID, the first one. The second model, I'm going to say in between single quotations, I'm going to say Boeing. Whatever, something like that, whatever. Build date, I'm going to say 2020, single quotation, 2020. Only the year, I'm going to write only the year. Okay, it's enough. Number of seats, I'm going to say 100, I'm going to say 50. I'm going to say 50 only. 50. Wait. Insert. So, highlight, execute. One row affected. Verified. Let's check now if it has been validated. Execute. Yes, here it is. Boeing 2020, 50 seats. You remember here when we checked for the number to be more than 100 seats? Here, when we execute, how many we have? 1, 2. And here now, we'll have only 1. Only اللي فيها 200. Only the 200s, more than 100 seats. Yes, good. Next. Update now, only update. The airplane, this one. Actually, we did it earlier, this one. Model to be Airbus. We changed the model to be Airbus in capital, to be written like this. Airbus in capital, the same way. Actually, we do not have, select from airplanes, for planes. We do not have, what is it? The airplane, yes. We do not have an airplane with a model. Let's say the airplane ID. We do not have plane ID. Yes, 407. We have only 1 and 2. So we respect 1 and 2 only. So respectively, if we search for the model, for the airplane with the let's say the model 407, we do not have it here. We have to insert it first. No worries. Just we replace the 407 with 1 or with 2. The same syntax would happen. Just we have to avoid the usage of the. Okay, I'm going to restart this thing also. Still, it is stuck in. Okay, Yes, so I'm gonna update. I'm gonna update this. He said, but the ID has to be this one. To set the model to be this Airbus. See, I'm gonna update this Airbus here to be capital. This Airbus. This is the one. Let's update this Boeing. Let's update this Boeing to be Airbus. We are going to change it. It's not Boeing. It's Airbus. So the ID is 2. Is 2. I'm gonna update. Come on. Update. Update. I'm gonna say, what is the table name? Planes. Update planes. Set what? The model, the field model, the same word. Capital M model. Here it is appeared. Sorry. Model. That model equal, between quotations, I'm gonna say Airbus. Sorry, Airbus. Yes, Airbus. Where exactly here? Where the same field name PID, the same field name PID here, PID appeared. Was it equals 2? 2y2 because 2 here قبل Boeing. It is the one we need. Execute. One row affected. Let's check again. Check what? Display airplanes. Airbus has been changed. It's not Boeing now. Great. Let's go for the next, which is the last. Update all flights of today at 9 a.m. to be 9:05 p.m. Sorry, 9:05 a.m. 5 minutes delay. 5 minutes delay. Okay, let's do that. The flights, he said. Actually, for the flights, select. We do not have any select flights here. I'm going to do it here. I'm going to copy paste this one. No, paste, but flights. Yes, here it is. Okay. Select and execute. The flights table we have FID, from ID, to ID, departure date. We do not have time. Here. But I'm going to use this flight departure date because he said we're going to postpone 5 minutes. So update. Bit flights, the table flights. Set what? Departure date. Departure. To be equal what? Be 9:05. Had a new. This is the new 9:05 a.m. I'm gonna copy even. To be this one equal single quotation. Not this one. 9:00 a.m. Single quotation. Close. That's it. Where? Which one? Where? The same thing. Departure equals and single quotation 9:00 a.m. Let's execute now. 0 affected. He said 0 means nothing has been done. So if we check why actually nothing happened, because in the departure we do not have any value. Nothing in the departure. We do not have any value to say 9 a.m. We do not have. So there will be no updates. Nothing. If we execute this thing, if we say nothing happened. No errors. It's not an error, but nothing happened. Okay, I'll stop at this point. I'll send you the video right now.